A month ago, I've decided I couldn't take it anymore. A month ago, I took a decision. A month ago, I thought there could not be any other way. A month ago, I did not want to engage in suicidal thoughts any longer. The day I woke up earlier than usual, I was filled with anxiety and doubts. I could feel the weight of the secret I was carrying, as if I was about to do something naughty. I felt shameful and afraid. After a short tram ride and a rainy walk, I found myself on an oddly suburban street. The oddness was given by this incredibly short trip. On my right, a row of typical German two-floor houses. On my left, a park. Having reached the number 10 earlier than I was supposed to, I've decided to smoke yet another cigarette. Nervously smoking, I was staring at the window of what I assumed was Dr. K's house, wondering, is all his family in there? Am I going to cross paths with his wife? Am I going to sit on the same couch where they watch television? I had shortness of breath, and I didn't know whether to blame my nerves or my fifth cigarette of that early nervous morning. I kept wondering what to expect once I go in, only by being interrupted by a curious squirrel running around the bushes behind me. I followed its movement for a while with my eyes and my phone, trying unsuccessfully to snap a picture of it. Instead, I took a picture of a yellow leaf on the ground. The leaf carried the two most perfect raindrops. The cigarette was out, and so was my time. At the entrance, I found two buzzers. I was so lost in my thoughts that I didn't even see the warning sign for the patient not to use the private buzzer, but to instead walk to the side of the house where the doctor's office was located. By then, it was too late and the mistake was already done, which of course added another layer to my anxiety. On the other hand, I felt relieved that I didn't have to see the private couch or the doctor's wife, for that matter. Ultimately, I used the right buzzer and the door automatically opened itself. The door opened to a steep stairwell. Everything was made with a type of wood I completely despise, now adding annoyance to my anxiety. At the top of this mountain of stairs, I found nobody to greet me or to ask me to take a seat and wait. It was an incredibly empty and narrow room. 2 chairs only furnished this tiny space, both made of that awful wood. One was standing right next to the door. The other sat just on the top of the stairway, now looking very deep. I've decided to sit on the ladder. This strategic position gave me a clear view to the office door, therefore allowed me to monitor the imminent appearance of the mysterious Dr. K. Though, if I would look to my right, a void would take form, being at the very top and at the very edge of these nauseating wood stairs.
Raz, dwa, trzy.
Walking down the street, I feel like a stranger. I hear the symphony of chaos creating a beautifully annoying concert of traffic and complaining conversations. I find unsettling my understanding of my mother tongue. I think I might have finally reached beyond the line of my belonging. Buildings move me, and the streets are unsurprising obstacles. Am I really home? Last few hours before I get on the bus, which will take me to the place I once called home. What am I doing here? I thought I could get lost in here, but clearly I'm not good at it. I can only walk with a destination in mind. Somehow I feel like everyone can plainly see on my face that I'm a guest wherever I go. Maybe I'm not good at talking either. Where is next? I hate to wait. And this wait was unnerving. The silence, the lack of human trace around me, drove me into a paranoid state and I felt observed, as this was part of the doctor's evaluation. Finally, the damn door cracked open and an old man came to frame. He greeted me and he asked me if I'd wash my hands. I knew it was a rhetorical question, as such a small place wouldn't keep the use of water a secret. So, taking it as an order, I shook my head no and fulfilled his request. His office was packed with loads of details, objects, all things that in normal circumstances I would gladly spend my time scanning and wondering about them. But this was no normal circumstance. Both standing in front of each other, he shook my hand and probably drove by insecurity, my eyes looked down. Dr. K was wearing some type of house open slippers. Although unprofessional, it seems logical given his age and the fact that the office was located in his house. What was odd to me were his socks. Hideous is a word that comes to mind. They had stripes of colors and toe sockets. It was mind-boggling to see a doctor wearing these awful socks. Though, what was more annoying was the fact that his toes weren't inserted in the proper sockets, therefore creating weird wobbly limbs attached to the tip of his feet. I honestly couldn't get my eyes off of it. The sight of the socks made it very hard for me to concentrate. He began to ask me all sorts of questions about me, my behavior, my feelings. What do you do for work? He plainly asked me. I'm an artist, was my response. Investigating a little longer about this, he made sure to make me say that I'm not earning a living with it, and yet I thought I was here for seeking help. I was staring at his socks while we were talking about my suicidal thoughts and my deep depression. His socks were obnoxious. I couldn't take this person seriously, and so didn't he. Or so I thought once he decided to prescribe me naturally antidepressive. Once our meeting was over, I went pee in his toilet. I didn't wash my hands, and I left disappointed. I used to say at all times that my work was my therapy. Now it sounds obnoxious and cringeworthy. This thought came rushing into my head during my current break from 2 years of psychotherapy. Now I wonder what happened. If I really thought so confidently that dedicating my life to art was therapeutical, talking about self destructive choices, why did I seek for help? Have I lost that belief? For the past 2 years, was I mourning a loss for my confidence? And now that driven by exhaustion for feeling too much, I've decided to take a break from it. Am I trying to reclaim that initial obnoxious thought? I just finished watching Anthony Bourdain's documentary. Over the years, I've carried many different opinions on the topic of suicide. I thought of it as weak, disappointing, necessary, romantic, an angry statement, and most of all, my destiny. When I was younger, I made myself a promise that if by 30 I would not amount to an abstractly defined achievement, whatever that meant, I would have had to kill myself. As I'm writing this, I'm 33. Obviously, I didn't do it. Somehow I have been disappointed in myself for not keeping my promise. I've considered myself a coward. Hell, I even tattooed the word coward on the palm of my left hand, my usual dramatic gesture, aimed to never let go of one fucking thing. The last chunk of the documentary was obviously focused on Bourdain's suicide. I watched it while taking a shit and crying. How appropriate. I feel like I'm working on the logistic of my final goodbye. Perhaps this piece has a necessity at its core. What's the end game, though? At the end of every session, my therapist would always say, "We have to come to an end for today." Maybe that's it. We do have to come to an end. This is what I did the day I've decided to take a break from therapy. I thought about the sky over Berlin, a frosty white, which made me initially fall in love with the city. I came back home and sat, afraid of what would be of me. I got cold and then realized my heater was broken. I cried and felt immensely lonely. I received updates from S on her feeling towards D. I got drunk. I skipped dinner. I recorded a voice memo of me saying, "My eyelids are staying blankets," and drunkenly repeated a few times.
My eyelids
are staying
are
blankets.
staying blankets.
My eyelids
My
are staying
eyelids
blankets.
are staying
My eyelids
blankets.
are staying blankets.
My eyelids are staying blankets. My eyelids are staying blankets. My eyelids are staying blankets. My eyelids are staying blankets. My eyelids are staying.
I fell asleep on the couch. When will I stop building such a romance? I shouldn't have come here. Enna is a foggy shithole. That's obviously angry talk. I guess it's one of those moments of being overwhelmed by some stupid feeling. The so-called sign is what you make of it. I went visit the Rocca di Cerere today. It's the highest part of the city. A massive piece of rock. You can climb to the top and from there you can admire the gorgeous landscape around. The volcano though, like the best act, steals the whole scene. It was foggy today though. The Rocca is also the mecca for the suicidals. Its perimeter is enclosed by a low fence, and on one side the rock extends on the outskirt of the fence, just a little, as to create a springboard for a theatrical throw. How ironic is to unconsciously build the perfect stage for a suicide. Too bad no one is ever there to witness the grand gesture. As this wasn't enough, while I was staring at that very corner of sadness, a strong wind swept away the fog, the fall revealing the beautiful landscape underneath, as to tempt you, flirting you in your last step. Honestly, one could not find a better place to die. I keep thinking about the logistic of my suicide. Does these thoughts exercise away the idea of doing it? Or is it just the fatal step before the eternal decision? All those narcissistic questions. Will anyone miss me? Who would be mad at me? Will my cat eat me? Will she cry? Will I finally do it? The day I'd stop care about what would happen to my lifeless corpse. My birthday is coming up, with the ache of what once I wrote. I wanna die the day I was born. Dr. K opened the door. Obviously, my eyes directly check his feet. This time he didn't ask me to wash my hands. Probably he monitored the sounds while I was in the bathroom. He did ask me once again if I was vaccinated. We both sat and then asked me how I was, so I told him. He was understanding and awkwardly kind to me. Our old psychiatrist is detached. His concerned smile was badly drawn on his face. The talk was short, and it ended with him saying, "If you ever feel bad again, you can give me a ring and we can try stronger pills." I didn't know how to react to that. I was just relieved he wore closed shoes this time. Then I closed the door behind me. Sometimes, when I'm ready to commit suicide, somehow I'm taken by the odd temporality of this sentence. It's the contrast between the word sometimes and the word suicide. It creates a deathless infinity. Sometimes I can commit suicide, and I'm ready to do so. However, sometimes I do not kill myself. Is this an anguished limbo, or is it the power of immortality? My mother held my hand throughout the ride to the airport. Your hand is so cold, she said. Suddenly it's awkward and warm, while gazing for the last time at a landscape made of early morning bliss. My father offered us breakfast, and while hugging me goodbye, he said, "Cole, let us hear from you." "Yeah," I distractedly responded. "Let us hear from you," he remarked. And off I went. I did say goodbye. I'm not even sure anyone will ever hear from me ever again. Sometimes, when I'm ready to commit suicide, I might wave you goodbye. I've been focusing on all this landscape from above because I was in need of immense altitudes. Surrounded by fog, I thought I've reached the clouds. I wanted to jump. I really did. Sometimes, when I'm ready to commit suicide, don't resent me if I don't. We have to come to an end for today.